Well, there's a new warning to Israel from Iran's Revolutionary Guards. Tohid Asadi joining us now live from Tehran. I understand that this is also referring to Israeli military troops in Gaza as well. What more do we know?
Well, actually, this is a very recent statement that we received from the public relations of the Revolutionary Guards. They came out to say, quote unquote, we warn the criminal army of the Israeli regime, if the crimes against Lebanese and Palestinian civilians continue, the positions of the enemy forces in the north occupied Palestine and the Gaza Strip will be subjected to heavy missiles and drone attacks by the Revolutionary Guards. This is a very recent statement, as I told you, that we hear as we see the continuation of the airstrikes by the Israelis and Americans targeting different parts in the capital and across the country. And of course, the retaliatory strikes that IRGC is talking about, the 78th wave of which they're saying that was conducted. And of course, speaking of the latest development, around half an hour ago, we heard the sounds of massive explosions in the eastern parts of the capital. And since the beginning of these airstrikes, eastern parts of the capital have been the locations that have been very much attacked by these airstrikes, but also we know that in other places in the capital and in the country, including cities like Tabriz, Isfahan, Karaj, and Khorramshahr, attacks and airstrikes are reported. Also in the capital, we know that according to the claim that was put forth by the army, they're saying that actually one drone was downed in the skies, across the skies of the capital. And these are the military developments. Meanwhile, there are diplomatic developments that are very much important. The American side is talking about negotiation, while the Iranian side denies reports and statements in that regard. We've got the Speaker of the Parliament, Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf, as well as the spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, both coming out to say that at this point there is no negotiation, and that means the situation looks to be far from de-escalation. However, Iranian Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi is talking about phone conversation with his counterparts across the region and beyond, with a long list: Pakistan, Oman, South Korea, Azerbaijan, Turkmenistan, Russia, and Turkey, and latest of which Egypt, with his counterpart in Cairo. Abbas Araghchi had a conversation where the Egyptian foreign minister said that he is involved in diplomatic interactions with international regional players aimed at actually de-escalation and decreasing the tensions across the region. That could be interpreted as a sort of indirect messaging between Washington and Tehran, even on that we don't have any confirmation from the Iranian side. And it goes without saying that, speaking of the potential negotiation, we know that we are not dealing with an easy situation. It's not going to be easy for the Iranians to open up conversation with the Americans due to the complexity of the situation. And of course, due to this cloud of mistrust that is out there, Iranians were involved in talks not once but twice over the past 1 year, while they faced a campaign of airstrikes all of a sudden in the middle of negotiation. And that is just making it even more arduous to think about potentiality for diplomatic engagement. And it goes without saying that what we hear from Tehran is on the basis of this condition or this precondition. They're saying that as long as these airstrikes go on, it's not possible, it's not relevant to talk about any ceasefire and, of course, negotiation. So they are waiting for maybe a potential decrease of the American and Israeli airstrikes, and then there might be a possibility, however slim, to talk about potential negotiations.
Tohid, thank you very much indeed. Tohid Asadi there talking to us from Tehran.